Promoting to other audiences is where you can get the sudden surge of traffic that might help an article rank quickly, get a bit of virality going, get you that initial push in traffic that can really help with getting some of your rankings going. And there's a few ways to do this. Reddit is extremely popular. It's probably my favorite method because if you can target Reddit correctly, you can get a huge influx of traffic very quickly. And that's usually as simple as identifying a subreddit where your content would fit, posting the content there, and then gaming the system a little bit to get some initial upvotes. Another option is message boards. So these are communities, message sites where you can post your content to people that are interested. There's a few good options for this too, depending on the type of content that you're making. And you just have to go out and find the message boards that fit with it. I'll give you some examples of that too. There's also emailing people who are mentioned or who might be interested in the article. Now, these would typically be influencers, people who have a large audience already, who might really like what you've just written. All you need to do is send them a quick email saying, hey, I wrote this thing, I think you'll like it. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Don't ask them to share it, don't be that guy. Just put it in front of them so that they can check it out if they're interested and try to start building that relationship. Don't ask for something from the get-go. It's really annoying. Don't ask them to link to you. Just let them know it exists. And odds are they're going to end up sharing it anyway if they like it. And if you're curious about how to get email addresses and stuff, I'd say just go ahead and Google that question. There's a really good article by my friend Scott Britton on lifelonglearner.com that you should check out, and that'll give you some good ideas. Now, let me show you what I mean about using Reddit and message boards in order to promote to other audiences. All right, let me show you an example with Reddit. So Reddit is a great opportunity where you can just post a link and then get magical traffic from it. And if you can really hit an audience right and create something that they're super interested in, you can get a ton of traffic. So let's look at some of my history and I'll show you a few examples of this. So we can go to submitted. You can see that I've been enjoying Pokemon Go. Now I should note that sometimes this works better than others, right? Here's one that just didn't work well at all, only one upvote. Sometimes it does fine, right? You'll get a little bit of traffic, you'll get some upvotes, and then sometimes it does insanely well. So this one got 1,300 upvotes. It sent about 42,000 visits in 24 hours. This one got almost 1,800 upvotes. This one got 300. This one got 3,000 upvotes, right? When you do it right, you can get a crazy amount of traffic. Now, the easiest way to do it is to post in communities that let you just drop in a link. So for the productivity community, for example, if we go in there, you'll notice that it's mostly just links. So if we can just click on something, it'll take you straight to that article. So if you have a good article on productivity, you can just drop it in productivity and then use a couple of your other accounts to vote it up, give it some initial traction, and then you'll get traffic from it. Very easy. But there are some where you can't do that, where you have to create a discussion. So for those, you can just start talking about what you did and then kind of give it away in the article. So for example, this one was about the runway calculator. And I said, hey, digital nomad, the community, I put together something you might like. It's a calculator to figure out your runway in different countries, and then I just had a link to the spreadsheet and a link to more information. So this was a really great way to provide the article to the community without just dropping my link in and running away, giving it more context. And when you want to take the time, I highly recommend you do this because it's a much more effective way to get engagement from the community. I also did that with this one, which was on second-degree dinners. The best tactic I found for meeting awesome people in my city. This was an R Entrepreneur. It got to the top of Entrepreneur. And I just talk about the really high level of the article and then some more details on the dinners and how I organize them. So this is a great way to use Reddit. You can do this with a lot of other message boards too, like anywhere else that you can drop articles and vote it up. You could do this with your forums. So if you're part of any forums on the topic, you can put articles there and start building a discussion on them. And I just recommend that you look for places like Reddit, like inbound.org is another great place for marketers where you can just paste in an article. And then once you've pasted in the article, you can get a couple of votes from friends and then suddenly it's on the front of inbound and you'll get a few hundred visits to it. There's a great couple of ways to just spark your initial traffic. And this will get you a lot more initial traffic than emailing someone out or doing your own social media in the beginning. You just have to remember that it's not sustainable. It's a way to get that initial surge that puts it on Google's radar and that helps it eventually rank. The goal here is to just get that initial surge so that it gets on Google's radar. And you can do that by posting to these communities and these other audiences that you don't own but that might be interested in your content. So that's part 2 of promotion, and now we're going to go on to part 3, which is adding a tier structure.